And during the week, though, I think they would announce on the news, and you probably heard it yourself, that he had gone through a surgery and that it looked like he was going to recover and he was going to be fine. And then, from what I understand, that last day, he kept passing and they would revive him. And then finally, his mom said, just let him be. If he's got to go, he's got to go. But yeah.
It was so freaking sad, and everybody just kind of went their own way, and I didn't um I didn't hear any more like from anybody. I think when the night that Biggie got killed, that's the first time I had heard from Tupac's sister since Tupac had died. And that was like a year later. I had heard from her that night, and she had just called to ask me, was it true that Biggie had just got killed in L.A.? And I'm like, yeah. And I didn't hear from her again until we got to Regina King and got married in Jamaica, and she came to the wedding, and that's the next time I seen her out there. But whew, it was a crazy time.
Okay. And then after Tupac passed, obviously the kind of conspiracy and the rumors started that Suge had something to do with it, that Tupac was going to leave Death Row and this and that. Did you ever see any signs that Tupac was planning on leaving the label?
Absolutely not. I mean, that night, before he died, he was happy. And, people, I just thought about something. I mean, if he's going to leave the death row, if he's going to leave death row, why is he fighting for death row, during that night when, the boy got jumped and, the things happened at MGM. If he was leaving, he wouldn't have even been involved in it. He wouldn't have wanted to go to party. He wouldn't have wanted to be involved with them. He's like, okay, I'm not going out here with them. He was fine. You know, we were with him before. We got to see his last moments, his last days, and he was happy.
Yeah.
He was. I didn't.
Okay.
He would have said something. He would have. He wouldn't have. He was a real dude. He's not gonna be no phony, no fake. If he gonna want to come around you, he's not gonna come around you. And he was clearly happy. I don't believe that.
Okay.
We do these things on the platform where we do like these roll calls where I'll name out like maybe an artist or one of the mob guys or somebody, and you just tell me whatever story comes to mind. Are you cool to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with Snoop.
Snoop, my fondest memory of Snoop is that he used to wear his sweatpants under his khakis, so his true waist size was maybe like a 32, 34. But he would always, I'm going to get me some 40s. Get me 40s. And he would double his pants up, and, by the time he had his sweatpants on and put the khakis on over that, he would be a size 40 at that point. I loved it. He's this is skinny little fun loving dude, and I remember I loved Snoop's hair from the beginning. I remember we used to play braid his hair because he had the prettiest hair, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna play braid your hair. We're gonna make you have you some give you some braids, and he would just sit back. He was a good guy, from the beginning, and he hooked me up with his cousin. I mean, that was great.
Okay. Any memories or thoughts with Corrupt?
Corrupt, the kingpin of the clique. That's my brother. One thing about Corrupt, that's the one of the most loyalist people from Dog Pound Death Row. Loyal to the end. I don't care. He can be friends with you, but he does keep in mind that me and him grew up in the same neighborhood. We hang with the same people, the same 6 crew. That's our people. He's loyal. There's nothing I wouldn't do for that boy. That boy has kept it 100% from day one. He was the only one. If Dad's ever we got into it, Corrupt would never get involved. He's like, that's them. I still love them both. Loyalty. His name is Loyalty.
All right. What about Suge?
Papa. Papa's always gonna have my back, because um all I resonate with him is that when my mom died, this dude went to the warden of the jail. He went to the warden and told the warden that my mom was his aunt. So they really had to contact the mortuary or wherever to see, or however they did have to do research to see if my mom was really his aunt, because he tried to get out of jail, tried to get an escort to come to my mother's funeral. And I'm never going to forget that. I never forget that. And I never forget that when he got out of jail, he said, I got to cheer you up. So what he did was, my birthday was in June, and he had just got out of jail. And he threw me this big party at um, the Beverly Hills Hotel, the Polo Lounge. And he said, you can invite all the girlfriends you want. Don't invite no dudes, but invite all the girls. And I remember I had all my girls. I had Carl Kanai's wife there. I think maybe, I don't know if Ella Kuji's wife had come. Everybody was there, and we had a good old time. He just sat in the back, and the bill might have been like $4,000 or $5,000. He didn't care. He just like, he said, "Are you happy? Did this make you happy? Are you okay?" He was trying to cheer me up because my mom had died. And I find that like fucking amazing. That's fucking amazing.
Okay. Any good memories or stories about Buntry?
Buntry, oh God, Buntry was always there to protect. I used to sit there and just laugh with Buntry, but God, this, that just being around them was the first time that I was around like that many Bloods in my life, because I'm always around Crips, right? And Buntry and them, they were like our big brothers. They protected us. It was not no color line. It was not like, I'm not gonna protect you and love on you because y'all are from the other side. They loved us. Buntry loved us, and it hurt my feelings when he got killed. I mean, he was a good guy.
Um, Last one. Any stories or good memories about Big C Style?
Big who?
Big C Style?
God, yeah. I mean, I just got a call. Big C Style just got into a major accident last weekend. He passed out while driving last weekend and totaled his car out. That he's okay. He got broken bones, but C Style, as you see, he's still my partner to this day. I just was with him 3 weeks ago. Went and hung out with him in Long Beach, and he was always there. He always protected Snoop. He always was the protector of Snoop and the dog pound. He was the leader. He was the one that was always out in front, pulling himself on the line to make sure everybody was safe. Always loved C Style, and he's doing better in the hospital, but always a protector. Kind of, he was a protector on the Crip side. Bunchy was a protector on the Blood side.
Okay. After Daz left Death Row for the final time, you started to put together or put out the DPG eulogy film. Can you tell me about when you started to film that? What was your original idea for the project, and how you ended up selling it to Stars, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, like I licensed it to Stars. Yeah, it's licensed it. So I always had a camera in my hand. I always had some. I like to take photos, filming things. So I had a lot of coverage of them from Snoop's first apartment, them singing here, this little things I had, and I said, I'm gonna put this together and make a documentary. I kind of didn't know what to do. This is my first time. So I got all these little, the little the Comcat, whatever the little camera they used to film on, the little tapes, had a ton of those with footage. And I said, I got to put this all together and turn it into something. So I had all the old coverage, and then got with Daz. I'm like, you want to help me? You want to get down with me? He's like, yeah, I want to get down with you. Gonna give me some money? I'm like, if it makes money, I'll give you money, of course. So he got down with me, and I went to Long Beach, and I re-interviewed. I had old coverage, but I wanted to re-interview some of the dudes from Long Beach and get whoever I could on board. And it was done guerrilla style. But this wonderful lady named Nancy Silverstone, she's no longer at Stars, but this is when Black Stars had just got on the map. And she loved the project. And I'm like, you do? I had this guy edit it, and we had to go Mandalay Bay, Mandalay, or something. It was a production company. We would go in there at nighttime and edit it down for like 3 weeks at night to get this thing going, because I want to get it to Stars. So when we had it all down, I remember sending a master to Stars, went through all the legality. I learned about you having to pay pay license, insurance, just in case somebody tried to sue you. That was expensive. I remember having to turn in all my, because I had to get all releases from everybody that's on there. So I had a ton of releases. And this is my first time. My company, A Busy Girl Productions, this is the first time that I'm doing a deal. And I went through attorneys because I ran through everybody, every shady attorney or whoever in LA until, you know, and I said, I know what I'm doing at this point. I kind of know. Did the deal with Stars. I did a license agreement for 2 years with them where they would put it on Stars pay-per-view. And I was more excited because my company was on the map. And I beat all the guys when people were not even thinking about shooting documentaries in 2002, 2003. I was already doing it. So when they seen it on Stars, everybody's like, yo, Kenya got it on Stars. And here come Daz. Did you make $1 million? I'm like, dude, no. This is the beginning. And they played it on Stars for 2 years. And, you know, we ended up at this point, you know, we're going to put it in stores. I'm like, no, I don't. You know, I tried to get a deal, but I kept running into more shady people. So I kind of backed out of putting it in stores and doing all that because it was going to be a lot of bootlegging. Bootlegging was going on. It was a lot going on at that point. But I got it. I really got this thing on Stars. Like 15 years before all the musicians turned to producers. So listen, at this point, I mean, I'm a filmmaker at this point, and I remember going to Suge before anybody was thinking about it. And this is when Suge was incarcerated at one point. And I'm like, Suge, let me do the Death Row story. I can do it. You know, I'm working in film. I'm a costumer. I'm a costume designer. I can do this, and I'm a producer. And I remember him saying me, you know, well, let me get out of jail. You know, I'll let you do it. We can do it together. And, you know, I just had a feeling that they didn't trust the girls. You know, women are not that popular at that point in the film business. They weren't giving us opportunities, and then you have a whole bunch of women that just came out of nowhere and just did their thing. So now they trust us a little bit. But I have to say, I was the first black woman to get a documentary on, you know, on a major network during that time. Nobody wasn't doing that, but I did that.